What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. I'm up making this video super late, super early in the morning. I'm fresh off of that Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach fight. I got to be honest with y'all. As a Tank Davis fan, Tank's reputation and, his status as a fighter saved him tonight. If Lamont Roach was in there fighting with a guy who wasn't a Tank Davis caliber fighter, if he was just fighting a guy that did not have Tank's reputation, he would have won that fight. Seriously. Fortunately enough for Tank, because he is such a cash cow for the sport, because he has so much status as a fighter, in order to beat him, you're going to have to whoop his ass, or you're going to have to get a knockdown off of a punch that you throw. Right? Now, Tank took a knee. We're going to get to that. That should have been a knockdown, 100%. But he took a knee on his own. Like, he just took it. It wasn't from a punch or from an onslaught of punches. He just took a knee because something was in his eye or whatever. But either way, it should have been a knockdown regardless. Right? But I'm going to tell y'all this, man. Tank did not look good. First of all, he's in there. He's not focused. I don't know what's going on. This was such a bizarre fight for him. From, talking to Lamont. I mean, fighters talk to each other, whatever. Taking a knee. Just out of nowhere, taking a knee and just walking to the corner. Right? Like, a point. No, not a point. It should have been ruled a knockdown, one. Regardless of who he is, that's a knockdown, dog. You can't do that. Just take a knee and go to your corner. No, it should have been a knockdown 100%. That's crazy. He in the corner, him and Calvin going back and forth. We like, Calvin, listen to me. Woo. Then I'm wondering, why was Barry Hunter the lead trainer for this fight? Why wasn't it Calvin Ford? It's like, what's going on? Then in the ring, like, Tank just looked like he was somewhere else at times. Like, he was there, but his mind was elsewhere. I don't know if his girlfriend went through his phone before the fight, if she saw some stuff she wasn't supposed to see. It could have been that retirement talk. All that, that's another thing too. I hate when a fighter goes into a fight talking about retirement. That shit is never good for him. Most of the time they lose the fight. Because you already thinking about long term, what you going to do when you done boxing, all this, that, and the third. And it does not bode well for you in a fight. That could have been the case with this fight for sure. Or it could have just been Lamont Roach is a lot better than everybody anticipated. He's familiar with Tank. I believe they fought in the amateurs coming up. They got a lot of history with each other. DC dude, Lamont is from DC. Tank is from Baltimore. The DC-Baltimore connection or whatever, they fought coming up. He's familiar with Tank. And so sometimes familiarity, a lot of times I say familiarity breeds disrespect. But in this case, it allowed him not to be scared of Tank. Now, I'm going to say this too, though. In the amateurs is something completely different from the pro ranks. Just because you beat somebody in the amateurs or you do well against somebody in the amateurs does not mean you're going to do well against them in the pros. Sean Porter beat Alexander Usyk in the amateurs. Alexander Usyk is not losing to Sean Porter at all. No way, no how. In like their professional careers at any point, for real. No. And I love Sean, but that wasn't going to happen, right? So I can't just put all the stock into the amateur fights or whatever they had coming up. But I do believe he wasn't afraid of Tank like other guys are. He was cautious, especially in the early rounds, but he wasn't afraid of Tank. Lamont Roach, man, he was standing in the pocket trading with Tank. And he was taking Tank's punches. He was taking them body punches very well. For real. Like he was eating them body shots. I'm like, damn, Lamont. For Lamont to be coming from 130 to 135, I'm like, hold on now. You got a lot of gumption about you, brother. You got a lot of mental fortitude, man. You got some dog in you. Because he wasn't just eating punches, he was throwing punches and putting some leather on them punches. I'm like, okay, Lamont. Lamont was out there mixing it up, standing his ground, right? And he didn't come out super overzealous. You remember when Ryan Garcia fought Tank, he was super overzealous, trying to hurry up, make a statement, come out and just start wailing on Joe, because Joe Goosen wanted him to come out ferocious against Tank. And it worked against him because he was ferocious, but Ryan is not that skilled of a boxer. So he's throwing the same shots over and over. And a guy like Tank, who's been fighting since he's young, he's going to pick up on patterns and just counter you. And that's what he did, right? Lamont did not allow himself to be easily countered. He wasn't overly aggressive. I will say this, though. If he probably would have picked it up in the earlier rounds, everybody knows Tank does not, first, he doesn't throw a whole lot of punches. He never does. People think he does because he stops people, but he doesn't throw a whole lot of punches. And in the early rounds, he fills people out. He's really not throwing a lot in them first few rounds. So had Lamont probably would have stepped on the gas a little bit, he might have been able to hurt Tank or clip him up enough to where he might have got a decision, maybe. But then I'm going to say this too, being super aggressive early could lead you in trouble as well. But Lamont fought valiantly, man. He fought very well. His stock increased with this fight, especially coming from 130 to 135, right? I was impressed, man. Wasn't afraid. Was willing to throw and throw at Tank like he didn't give it like Tank was a dude off the street. He was like, let's get to it. You know, and I think that shocked Tank a little bit. Like, okay, this is my come to fight. All right, okay, little Lamont, he didn't got a little better now. Okay, Lamont got a little something to him. You know, they know each other. So that's why I believe the fight was going down in the first place. Tank wanted to give a payday to a dude that's, you know, an East Coast dude from not too far from where he from. You know, I guess they consider that the DMV area, DC and Baltimore and all of that. No, DMV dude, let me give a DMV dude a shot and some paper. But I do think he took Tank by surprise, right? Because Tank like, okay, oh damn, all right. After one of the rounds, Tank pat him on the chest. All right, you got a little something with you, right? And more than a little something. He had a lot of something with him, for real. But I'm going to say this, man, about Tank. As great as Lamont fought, you're going to have people looking at Tank thinking he's fooled now. And that happens when a fighter has a close fight, when they don't look like their usual self, when they have struggles in a fight, when they have a fight where people think they lost, you have other people licking their chops. Keyshawn Davis is looking at Tank thinking he can beat Tank. He was already looking like he wanted that fight or acting like, you know, you think he could beat Tank. He really going to think it now. Keyshawn got more pop on his punches than Lamont Roach does. He does. He's a skilled guy. He's not experienced, really. But he's coming off of a very good win. And sometimes coming off a very good win is enough for a guy to feel like he could shock the world and actually pull it off. Keyshawn he'll be a nice, tough fight for Tank. But I will say this: if Tank takes that fight, I think he'll stop. He'll hurt Keyshawn. At first, I was thinking, I don't know, he might not want to get in there with Keyshawn. It'd be a great fight though. But Tank gets up for those fights. Fights where a dude gonna be talking shit to him, gonna be talking crazy, acting like he gonna punk him. Tank gets up for those fights in different ways, man. So at first I was thinking, man, Keyshawn might bring war to Tank for real and might pop and hurt Tank. And he still could for sure. But I think Tank will you'll see the best of him in a fight like that because it'll get personal. And in fights where it's personal, you see the best of Tank for real. Because Tank didn't have lackluster performances against Yuriorkis Gamboa, even though he got the stoppage, that was it wasn't a good win for him. Who was that? When he fought on the undercard of Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather. It was not a good showing for him. It wasn't. But this is the first time when you got people thinking like, yo, I mean, some people say, oh, he lost the Pitbull fight. I never thought he lost that fight. But this is one where it's like, yo, if you wasn't Tank, this would have went a whole nother route. So Tank gonna have to come out and make a statement in the next fight. He very well may give Lamont Roach a rematch because you had people thinking like, yo, need to handle that work, man. And I'm sure he would get a DMV. Excuse me, I'm stuttering. I'm sorry, let me stop. Excuse me. I'm sure he would like to get a DMV brother paid again. Get another DMV brother paid again. I'm sure he would like that. That'd be a dope thing to do, but he might rematch him, right? Or he might look at it like, you know what? People think I done lost it. People thinking I'm easy money. I'm easy takings now. Let me go fight one of these big dudes and make a statement. Because on my live stream, I'm like, yeah, Tank should fight a big name. Teofimo Shakur, one of them. And he going to have to whoop one of them boys to get his name back good in these streets and let people know he is who he says he is. The thing with that is you're going to have people, he's going to get it the best. I mean, Tank always going to get people's best. But after that, you're going to have people like, yo, he's beatable. Let's see it. He's going to get everybody's best going forth. But I think this could maybe put another little, it could put something else in Tank. Some more fire into him because he didn't have no fire in this fight at all. And I'm not talking about punching power per se. I'm talking about like spirit-wise. He didn't look like he was into this fight for real like he's supposed to be. You know, I don't know if Calvin Ford needs to be the head trainer again or what. Because sometimes it's just not the trainer, it's the fighter. Tank just looked lost in it. Like he was just like on cruise control at times. And not even just on cruise control. He looked like he was just in there. Like his heart didn't look like he was in the fight for real. Just looked like he was super distracted. You got to shake that now. Shake that shit off, brother. Being distracted in the boxing ring, that's the wrong place to be distracted in. You know? So whether he got something going on with his old lady, she didn't found out he was cheating. I don't know, but he got to get that together. Now, young lady on my live say Tank has some type of hair products getting in his face and all of that, getting in his eye. He needed to get it wiped out his eye. Cool. But yeah, man, I don't know. If you got to go back to a fade, if you got to, I don't know, whatever you want to do, get that together. But he did not look good at all. And I'm telling y'all, a majority draw, that saved Tank. That's a good outcome of a fight for him. Now, he wanted the unblemished record. He don't want to say he got no draws on his record. But yeah, just look at him. Tank was ready to put his coat on, get up out of there, it seemed like it looked like his mind is somewhere else right now. He better get it together, man, because Lamont Roach put on an excellent showing. And the other guys, like Shakur got better defense than Tank. Not better offense, but better defense, right? Supremely skilled. He gonna think he could possibly outbox Tank. Now, I had Tank beating all them young dudes before this fight. I had him beating Shakur, Devin, Teofimo because of his punching power and his boxing IQ. And yeah, man, just Tank is a very smart fighter, whether people want to acknowledge that or not. He really is. But he got to get it together, man, because Lamont was not afraid and was standing toe-to-toe with him and was taking some of his best shots. That's a 130-pounder doing that. You know, so you can have other people like, yo, he might be right for the taking. Somebody like Keyshawn Davis over there with Bo Magnum. And I have Bo Magnum thinking, we can get dude up out of there. You know, what you call it, hate Tank. Bud do. So, hey, let's see what happens.